Hello everyone, this is Johnny Orange and today I'm playing 2 archers with 1 pike unit. But this time I also have 3 spear units that are going to protect me the whole damn time, which is what you want as archers. Not only that, I'm facing lower tiers, so this video is also about when you face lower tiers, how bullshit it can be. But remember, this game is still in closed beta. This will probably improve in time, but for now it's a bit of a problem. So I'm going to address it. Over the last few days I've noticed that tier 5s aren't as bad as they were a week ago. It was fucking horrible then, because all you did was face tier 6 and 7s. Now it's gone the other route, where you face tier 3s and tier 2s and shit. It's all over the place. Hopefully with more players it will fix up, it probably will. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind. There's not many players playing this game at the moment in closed beta. Hopefully that shall improve in open beta, where I'll be more critical of the matchmaking, because at the moment, if I was to talk about the matchmaking, there would be a lot of swearing involved, and I already swear a flip ton. But I'm just hoping in a few patches, when there's more players, I won't have to swear a flip ton, or only have to swear a flip kilo. That's what I'm hoping for. But in this game you will see how much a tier difference makes, and also how much teamwork matters in this game. Mostly tier difference, I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking mostly tier difference. Also teamwork. And before we get too deep into this game, I would like to say you guys should check out Crimson Commander. I'll have a link below of Crimson Commander's stream. That dude's fucking hilarious, man. I mean, god damn, he pulled out a lightsaber and shit. Pulled that lightsaber out, he's like... Here's a temple of vape liquids and he breathes like a fucking dragon. The cunt makes me laugh. That's why I'm recommending the cunt. It's funny as shit. And so much for not swearing. I suffer from Tourette's syndrome, but an optional version where I could just not swear. But I don't want to, so fucking suck a dick. Anyways guys, back into the game. I am shooting into this combat area here. As you can notice, as you should notice, can notice, should notice, or whatever, I'm not doing that much fucking friendly fire. If you count the damage I did to him, it was very minimal. And let's admit it, he was in a shit scenario there, and I'm trying to bail him out of that shit scenario. Well, not bail him out, but bail the team out of that shit scenario. And you may be thinking, how the fuck are you hitting for so much damage, man? It's amazing. It's like magic. How are you hitting for that damage? And that is when tier difference comes into play. I would not be hitting them so hard if they were tier 6 or 7. Not by a long shot. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. I am shooting lower tiers, so my damage is very high. Just to make sure people don't go to the forums and go, just kill me. Because motherfucker, there's something you have to understand. With archers, you're very overpowered when it comes to anyone of a lower tier. Pretty average against your own tier. Fucking useless against higher tier. And that's when you hit the forums up and go, and say, can we fix this fucking matchmaking or what? What's the deal, bro? We should always face, this is how I think, because of the balance, everything you should face should be only 1 tier difference. There's no chance of a tier 5 spear unit beating a tier 7 unit. The tier 5 guy could be the shittest player in the world, and he'll probably most likely beat you just because of the tier difference between tier 5 and tier 7. It's ridiculous. And this is something that is stopping new players from advancing in this fucking game. But it is closed beta, so, you know, just fucking hold your horses. Don't have a fucking aneurism like I did. And let's get back into talking about this match. So basically, he was aiming at my spear units, my allied spear units, which gave me the advantage. I could advance on him and pop my barrage onto his archers. Unfortunately, my archers were not spread out. It would have been a better result for me if I spread my archers out, but I didn't because of retardedness. And now I'm shooting his pikes instead of advancing because his archers are in the fog of war. So if I was to advance and try to find his archers, I would be in for a shit show because he would see me before I see him, putting me at a disadvantage. I'm better off just shooting these pikes here. You may have noticed I'm always surrounded by my melee ally, which helps a lot. And what we like to do is take turns. One person plays a range one game, one plays the melee the next game, just to keep it even, so to speak, because some games the melee doesn't get to do anything. So that's why we like to have turns when we do this combo. Just keep that in mind. If you are going to do this with your friends, it's better off that you both have range and both have melee so you can have turns. Also, that way it's more unlikely that your melee is going to piss off without you and try to get some kills because they know that next time that you're defending them, so they don't want to do that shit. Now we are getting caps very quickly, which means it's either range capping us or it's melee capping us. Most likely it isn't cavalry because they cap very slowly. So I have popped that rapid advance. I am out of position from the melee protecting me, but we do have to decap very quickly here. And when it comes to losing a few units compared to losing the game, I'd rather lose those few units risking the decap than just being a dumb cunt and standing around and doing nothing. Also keep in mind you do get points for decapping. It doesn't seem that way because the stats are all kill deaths and all that shit, but you do get points and silver for decapping. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to focus fire at the back of the base and the front of the base because that's usually where the enemy hides. If I don't get those focus fires off, we could be out of luck here and get capped, but we should be fine as long as they're not to the left of the base. That's when we get in trouble. So those focus fires have gone off. Will they hit anything? There we go. They're in the fucking middle of the base. That's a very likely spot for them to hide. So keep that in mind when you do go to decap. They are the most likely spots. You can shoot into the fog of war and you'll most likely hit something. Now it's just a matter of taking out that range. Luckily I do have barrage up so they'll disappear very quickly. That's why I find one range unit isn't very worthwhile in taking. Some people think it is, but you just lose every ranged fight. There's no chance of you really winning unless you're a good 2 tiers above the enemy. It could work if your archers have a tier 9 barrage, but then if you got tier 9 anything, you're going to smash face. They really need to work on that with matchmaking as well. The commander level should affect who you face. But let's get back into the game. I've told my spear ally to hold up for a sec because my pikes can easily go in there and just clean up house, which will save our team from getting too many casualties and also save his spears that may be needed later down in the track. Of course, this affects his kill death ratio, but like I said, the next game I will be defending him, and if an occasion like this arises, I'd rather his pikes go in and clean up. And this is why I'm really looking forward to hopefully having clan wars in this game. So it's not about your kill death ratio, it's just about winning. So you use whatever's strongest in that situation to get those kills. And this is a prime example of that. I can take no casualties and clean up all his units, as you can see here. And once these clan wars do start happening, I'm going to presume that range is going to look a lot stronger because of the fact that they will be protected by their allies way better than they are now in the game, which may lead to needing some nerfs to range units. We'll just have to wait and see. At the moment, I don't see any reason to nerf range units because, well, maybe nerf tier 9 barrage. That shit gets a bit ridiculous. But as far as lower tier archers, slingers, etc., they can get run over pretty easily at the moment, especially in solo queue. We'll just have to wait and see when they do bring out 10v10, like pre-made 10v10 games. That's when you'll see the real balance in this game. So hopefully that's not too far down the track, or else they have to balance these units around solo play, which can lead to all sorts of troubles because they also allow groups to queue, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. Now this game does have a lot of time still, and we are going to have to go all the way to the enemy base because we're not boring cunts that are going to camp, we're going to go face the enemy. Maybe not the best strategic play, but it's better than fucking nothing. It's better than being bored as shit. And it is a game and it's not ranked at the moment. So just have as much fun as possible. And I don't find standing in my base for fucking 5 minutes very fun at all. So I'd rather go down there and see what's up. Now, as far as it goes between who's better at protecting ranged units, I'll say Leo is the best. Because he has that raised shield ability to deflect any ranged units attacking him while defending you. Also, he's very good once he gets into combat. The problem with Leo is he's not very good at chasing down the enemy. So your ranged units can act like some bait to get the enemies to engage him, where he shines. Also, he's very good at taking down cavalry units, especially in Oath, where he can pop that shield bash, get those auto hits in, wipe out a bunch of cav, and that's your main enemy as a archer player or a slinger player, etc. My second favourite is Miltiades because he does have that fear ability. So if someone does manage to sneak behind your defensive line, he can put that fear on them, slowing that unit and hopefully buying enough time for the archers or slingers to get out of the way of that threat. The only problem with Miltiades compared to Leo is the fact that Leo is very good at taking on multiple enemies, while Miltiades actually wants to do the opposite. Because of that fear mechanic, he wants to outnumber the enemies and get them to rout very quickly, and that's how he kills units mostly. And that opportunity will not arise very often when you are protecting ranged units. It's usually more of you getting outnumbered and you outnumbering the enemy. So Leo is definitely the way to go. Second best option, in my opinion, is Miltiades. Now, at this stage of the game, we do have range superiority, so I'm just shooting anything that comes within my range. If their archers want to move up, then I'll shoot them. But since they're just backing off, I'm just going to aim for these pikes, which are a threat to my allied spear units. Now, one thing I should tell you, spears versus pikes usually ends one way, and that is the pikes win. At the moment, pikes just seem to be better versions of spears, apart from on Miltiades because you can't use any of his abilities with pikes. I really think they should differentiate these units a bit. At the moment, it just seems like spears have small versions of pikes with, I'm not sure what the fuck they have that pikes don't have. Oh, they can put it down in combat. But with Leo, you can put your pikes down in combat anyway. So yeah, I don't really see the point of bringing spears too much at the moment. Unless, of course, you're playing Miltiades because you need to play spears to use your abilities. Back into the game, I am shooting the enemy archers. They moved into my range, so I need to hit them before they can hit me. That's the main goal. That's the main threat to me at the moment. I am going to pull my archers back at this stage because the enemy is pushing very hard, and I don't want them to get into a charge distance of any of these infantry units here. It is turning out to be a very close game. Those pikes on the enemy team did butcher my poor spear ally, because that's what pikes do. They butcher any infantry that stands in their way. Apart from Vercingetorix infantry, because you can just chuck flames on top of the pikes and pile on them, it's very strong against them. As for any other infantry unit, I'd recommend not taking on pikes. They are slow, so you can run away very easily. I'm just hoping my archers can do enough damage to keep this game in our favour. It's very close at the moment. Our infantry is getting stomped a fair bit. Avoiding friendly fire does get hard at this stage of the game because of everyone being in combat. I should have used my focus fire more. That's one thing I should have definitely done. There was opportunities to use that ability. But, you know, I forgot to do it because I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm not sure what the hell's going on here. That pike unit just went straight through the spears. Now they're chasing my archers. Not good for my archers, because if the pikes do put their pike formation down, even with 5 dudes on top of that blob of ranged units, I am fucked. And the score's that close, I really don't want to retreat backwards. So I am going forward. Now looking back, it's probably a mistake, because I am now in range of their ranged units. That one volley at the end onto the pikes though did buy us about 15 kills. It might have been a good trade-off, I'm not sure at the moment. I did raise my pikes because these guys won't fuck off. I need to chase them down. They just won't rout. Anyways, we did end up winning. Fucking close game. I would have liked to see what would happen with the extra 5 minutes. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you fucking liked it and shit. I fucking hope you did, mate. Because you watched it for 15 minutes. And see you later.